Okay, so I'm recording a Simple Abundance devotion for Sunday, January 2nd, 2022. I cannot believe it. This is the year I turned 60. Gosh, it's hard to believe that. Nevertheless, here is the devotional from Simple Abundance, which is a day book of comfort and joy. Joe E. Lewis said, "You only live once, but if you work it right, once is enough." How often in the past you have turned away from all that is unresolved in your heart because you feared the questioning of it. Well, what if you knew that a year from today you could be living the most creative, the most joyous, and fulfilling life that you can imagine? What would it be? What changes would you make? How and where would you begin? Do you see why the questions are so important? Be patient toward all that is unresolved in your heart and try to love the questions themselves. That's what the German poet Rainer Maria Rilke urges us. Do not now seek the answers which cannot be given you because you would not be able to live them, and the point is to live everything. Live the questions now. The answers to your questions will come, but only after you know which ones are worth asking. Wait, live your questions, then ask. Become open to the changes that the answers will inevitably bring. This may take some time, but time is the new year's bountiful blessing. 365 bright mornings and starlit evenings, 52 promising weeks, 12 transformative months full of beautiful possibilities, and 4 splendid seasons. A simply abundant year to be savored. And isn't all this true? If we don't ask the questions, then we can't possibly find the answers, and that's a very important thing to think about. Um, and I know the recording is awful, but I'm working on it. Uh, so I just encourage you to think of the questions that you have for your life for this year, and I encourage you to think of the answers as well. I'm a big believer in journal therapy. I think if you write things out, things just become clearer. And I can credit my high school English teacher for that, Mrs. Rhodes. I'll never forget. Chip and I sat right beside each other, and those of you who don't know who Chip is, it is he was my soulmate that we didn't get to realize. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But we would sit there right beside each other in class, and Mrs. Rhodes says, "Okay, take out your notebook," and that was just a sewn composition book. And she said, "Now you're going to write for 10 minutes," and this happened every day. And we would say every day, "There is nothing to write about." She said, "Write that down." So I would write, "There is nothing to write about." Then I'd look over at Chip, and Chip would look at me, and then he'd say to Mrs. Rhodes, "What do you want us to write about?" And she said, "Write that down." So he would write down, "What do you want us to write about?" And so what she was teaching us is what I now know when I went through my PhD work, is to throw up on the paper. Just throw up on the paper, get it all out. You can go back and clean it up if you want to, but sometimes you don't clean it up at all. So I can encourage you to really process your questions, perhaps maybe with just a notebook, so that you can make some good decisions that you know that you spent the time that you need to on. And I encourage you to do that. And I hope that you have a great Sunday, January 2nd. I will continue to have to stay home for a variety of reasons, but my church has instituted some safety measures because of the nearly inevitable Omicron spike that's going to be hitting the entire world. But anyway, I hope y'all have a great Sunday, January 2nd. Happy New Year to everybody. Even though it's the second day of the year, I still think it's a wonderful time to reflect and move forward. All right. Have a great Sunday.